Hey English 102, this is your week 3 overview video. As you can see, I am logged into our Brightspace page. Right here on the front page is our announcements. In your announcement on the front page, it will always contain almost everything in terms of information that you need for the week. So, since I've had the opportunity to speak with so many of you in the last couple of days via email and Zoom office hours, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping things so that I know that we're all on the same page. The first is if you are still having trouble being able to navigate our class tools, either our Google Class Space or our Brightspace page here, my suggestion to you is to make sure you are doing the coursework for the class on a laptop or a computer. If you are using the Brightspace app Pulse, it is very limited. There will be things that you can't see or are more difficult to access because you are using the app. Now, it's great for sometimes being able to log in it quickly or in a situation where you don't have access at the moment to a computer or a laptop, but you're definitely going to cause yourself more headaches than needed if you're going to try to complete this entire class via that app. I don't suggest it. Also, if you've noticed in our videos, I am always looking at the view from a computer, right? So when I'm showing you how to access these links, you can't follow along with me the same way on the app that you can if you are actually logged into the application on a desktop or on a laptop. So again, if you're still having trouble, that would be my first suggestion. My second suggestion would be to take the time to go into the technology assistance office. Take your device with you. All of you use different things. They can sit down and explain to you how to use your particular device. We're at week 3. At this point, if you've chosen to take an online class and you can't access the materials, we have to have a really serious conversation about, is this the class you should be in? All right. Also, on that note, second housekeeping thing. At the top in our toolbar, I'm going to hit the link that says grades. All right. So, as your professor, clearly I'm not doing a great job. I have no grades in here, right? But you should. Each week, we have a weekly discussion board. As it outlines in your course guide, this is how we track attendance in this class. If you have a 0 where it says discussion boards, that means not only did you not get the 15 points, but that you were counted absent for that week. In this class, if you have more than 3 weeks of absences, 3 weeks where you have a 0 where it says discussion board, then you will be withdrawn from the course and you'll have to take it at a different time. I don't say that to scare you. I just want you to be aware of what the policies are in the course. The vast majority of you are doing awesome. This is not a deal, but you can still log in and look at your grades so that you kind of have an idea of where you're at and how you're doing. All right, with that said, I'm going back to our homepage, right? Because I want to talk about what we really should be doing this week. So on Tuesday, I sent out all the emails to all the groups just to make sure that everybody was working and getting together and able to communicate. There were a couple of people, I think 3, in all of the groups and all of my 102 classes that were in the wrong place. So we got some of that situated. So for the people that had to move, they're starting new this week. And for some of the people that were like, where are my group members? That's what happened. So don't freak out about it. What I do want to say is that this project has several more weeks in it. We have plenty of time to get through the things that we need to do now that we've had these groups solidified. The other thing that I talked about in my emails to you earlier this week was that if you have group members that are not participating by Thursday, that's tomorrow, right? They will be removed from your groups. And by not participating, I mean that they have not posted in our discussion board for your team, or they have not posted in your Google Doc that I provided to you. That means not participating. Even if you're participating in your head and you've been reading over things and thinking about things, that doesn't help me or your group members. You actually have to post in the apparatuses that were given to you. If you haven't done that, you'll be removed from the group. With that said, as I've said to some people already, the people that are actively participating are the people that get to make the decisions. So don't wait around on somebody thinking, oh, we can't decide until we hear from so and so, right? If so and so wants to have a voice in what the decision is, then they have to participate. So move forward, make decisions, let's get busy. Okay, so I am looking at the week 3 snip from our calendar. It says, of course, always begin your discussion board. Again, that whole attendance thing. You have a chapter to read, it goes with your discussion board. In our discussion board for this week, I'm asking you to annotate that chapter. Annotate is just a fancy word for taking notes, and in those notes, that you should have questions about things. You're going to capture some of your notes and put it in the discussion board to discuss with your classmates. I know the picture is a little bit blurry for some of you because y'all sent me emails. I just haven't found one that I like better than the one that I have, but I will replace it. And you don't actually need the content of the picture to do the discussion board. It was just kind of decorative, so don't worry about it. But I'm going to find something new here in the next couple of days. Beyond that, you'll see in your week 3 calendar that I have listed a variety of videos for you to watch. Most of these videos deal with the things that you're going to need to be working on your annotated bibliography. So there's examples of other teams in the past and what they've done with their bibliographies, a video on the overview of what an annotated bibliography is and how to set it up. There are 2 videos that deal specifically with the SWIC library databases and searching for books, because these are things that you're going to have to do. And then at least to 1 video about evaluating sources and another video on how we do the MLA documentation of sources. Depending on your past experience in English 101 and in high school, some of this might be very familiar to you, and you can kind of watch them, skim through them, check the box. For others of you, this is going to be brand new information. And so using that task, that tool of annotating and taking notes is going to be important. Keep in mind they are videos, which means you can pause them, you can slow them down, you can play them again, so that you're making sure that you are comprehending the information that's being presented to you. All right. In the second half of our calendar, each week tells us the things that we should be doing. And you'll see that for this week, a lot of our items say start, right? Because we are in the midst of this project, right? So you should be at this point already likely, working through your team proposal items. That proposal should be posted in the Google Doc that I gave you. So I got a couple emails saying, hey, where do we turn this in? I want it in that doc because it's the first thing we're going to look at in your conferences. I'm going to pull it up and ask you all to talk about kind of the choices that you made, who's doing what deadlines have you set, what are you excited about? I want to be able to see the proposal there. Also, in that doc, we're going to look at your draft of your annotated bibliography. It's okay if you don't have all 20 of them in there, but you need to have enough of them in there so that we can talk about what you're doing and make sure you're on the right track before we go too much further into the project. So you'll see those 2 things go in the Google Doc that I provided for each team so that we can look at them in your conferences. The last thing on here just says if you haven't signed up for a conference, and I know a lot of your teams have, that link is still there. Make sure you talk to your group members, pick a time that's going to work for you all, and then we will get together to talk about all the things that you're working on so I can answer all of your questions, show you what you need to access or how you need to go about things. The last thing up here that I want to talk about, and I'm going to click on the link, is your Team Path Forward project planning document. You'll see it's going to open a Google Doc that you can just type right in. Doesn't matter if one of your team members does it or if all of you all do it and people make changes, it's open, right? But what I'm asking is for each team to fill in a row. Most of this you probably haven't gotten to yet, but I do want you thinking about these things as you are doing your planning this week, like thinking about them at least. So the things that I'm asking you to put in are the group members' names of the people that are participating, the law or the policy you all have selected for this project, the citation for where that law or policy lives. It can't just be like, oh, I want to do abortion. Abortion's a law without you being able to cite a specific law in a specific place and a specific source. Okay. Question: what do you want to know? What are you trying to get at for this project, right? And that research question should be narrowed. I'm just going to refer you back to the research questions video that we have. It should be relevant, right? It should be current. It should be something that's narrow in scope to the point where you can cover it in the couple of weeks that we have in this class. So think about how you're going to do that. Typically, when we narrow research questions, is either by location or by scope. Who does it affect? Just one group, one population, one thing, not everything. So you also have to do first person primary research for this project. I know none of you have gotten to this yet that I've seen anyway or talked to. So I do want you to start thinking about who are you going to survey? Keeping in mind that your survey is about quantitative research. We want to get to a lot of people, right? So what group do you want to target? When do you think you'll be able to do that? How do you plan to get them the survey? And there's a couple of ways to go about that, and we'll be talking about that more in the weeks to come. And then interview. Who are you going to interview? You only have to interview one person. There are a variety of ways that you can go about it: in person, email, Zoom, all kinds of ways, right? And then why do you want to interview that person? So again, you'll see as you scroll down that each team by section, because we're going to look at the section first and group, right, has a row. I don't care how much or how little. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. I just want you all to kind of capture your thoughts. So that is your team planning document, right? Back here in Brightspace, just so that I know I'm going over it for some of you who are just now kind of catching up. Your weekly discussion is best accessed by dropping the course tools link on our toolbar across the top. Hit discussions. There's one every week, so we're going to scroll to week 3. See my blurry picture? To open it, you're always going to click on the blue link that says week 3. All of the links in Brightspace are blue, so you know it will take you somewhere. When you scroll down, it tells you what you should put in the message box, what you should put in the subject line, how many people you should reply to, and how. And when you're ready to do that, all you have to do is hit the button that says start a new thread and do those things. When you have something in the subject line, you have something in the message box, you'll press post. You won't be able to see other people's until you post your own, and then you will be able to reply. Why I'm showing you how to access things in Brightspace, I'm going to go back up to our toolbar, drop that list where it says course tools one more time, and hit groups. As I explained in my video last week, this is our group page, right? To see what group you are in, although I've emailed each of you at this point, all you have to do is look where it says Team 1 in the column that says members. It's blue, so I know it's a link. If I hit it, it will list the names of the people that are in that team. If I see my name here, then I know I'm in Team 1 for my class section. I happen to be in section number 11 right now as I'm doing this video, right? You can also look over here where it says email. If you want to email all of your team members, all you have to do is hit the button. It'll automatically populate their SWIC student emails in here, type in whatever you want, press send, and you can communicate with each other. Again, these are the tools that I've given you. Some of you have chosen to use the discussions. That's great, right? We see all kinds of things going on in here. Other groups have primarily used just our Google Class Space documents. So you see, I went back to the home page. At the end of each of our announcements are our quick links, right? You can go to our Google Class Space. You can look at our course guide or our calendar. Right now, I'm going to click the link that says Team Google Documents. You first have to decide what section that you are in, but we're in week 3, so I'm hoping you know what section you're enrolled in. right? You can pick your team. Each team was given a document just like this. Some people have more in here than others, right? Again, this is the document that you need to access to be able to post your proposal information and your draft information. This is the document that you need to make sure that you've posted in by Thursday so that you don't accidentally get put out of a team that you would like to participate in. Okay, with that said, the last thing I just want to say is again, we have time. Don't freak out. Y'all are all in a good place. There's no group that I've looked at that I am super, super worried about. So I know that team projects can be a little anxiety producing, particularly in the beginning where we're getting to know people or trying to figure it out. But you all are okay from what I can see. As always, if you have any questions, go ahead and email me, and y'all are good at that. I've gotten a zillion emails in the last 3 days. And the second thing I just want to say is I look forward to seeing all of you in your conferences beginning next week so we can get to know each other and make sure that everyone is doing well in the course. Have a great week.